Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about IELTS, International English Language Testing System. It is one of the most popular English exam out there. Most of the students love IELTS, they know about it, and it is a course that is widely accepted by most of the universities around the world. There is also a perception that if you take IELTS and if you get a good score in IELTS, then your visa is guaranteed. Yes, it is a fact to most extent, but there are other courses also. Anyhow, but I'm going to talk about IELTS today. As far as IELTS is concerned, it is one of the oldest tests with over 3 decades that has been there in India for. Over the years, it has evolved. Now we are having computer-based test that is getting very popular among the students. Then we have the old format that is paper-based test. When I talk about IELTS, for student visa, you need to take IELTS academic test. This is the test that is accepted by the university. If you take IELTS journal test, that is only for immigration and work permit. Now, coming to the subject of IELTS, you will deal with 4 modules of English language. When I say 4 modules, you should treat it like 4 subjects: listening, reading, writing, speaking. Each module is calculated on the scale of 9 bands. And it is a very specific module where they are trying to assess your level of English in these 4 aspects. It is a very well designed test. Most of the material is of Cambridge. So starting with the first module, listening. Listening module, if you're taking it on computer-based test, lasts for 32 minutes. Yes, that's right. 32 minutes it will last. You will get 40 questions, which is similar to your paper-based test. But over here, you will get only 2 minutes to check your answers. That means the tape will be running for 30 minutes. You need to answer 40 questions. At the end of the tape, you will get 2 minutes of time to check your answers. It is a test where you are not going to hear the recording a second time. The question types that you will come across in IELTS listening exam is fill in the blanks, multiple choice, label the diagram, map. Section 1 usually is a conversation that is very slow. Section 2 is about group talk. Then section 3 is related to talk. Section 4 is a lecture. Lecture can be on anything. It is a test of increasing difficulty. Section 1 and Section 2, which is also known as Part 1, Part 2, is very easy. But the level of difficulty increases in your Section 3 and 4. You can get different kinds of accent as speakers are going to come from different backgrounds. But over here in Sowrya, we understand what our students will face. The common problem over here is that, sir, I don't understand the accent. So I'm not able to follow what they are speaking. How am I going to answer that? There is a lot of solutions out there, but we want to customize and give a tailor-made solution for every individual student that is there in the class. We try to analyze by giving individual attention where he or she is going wrong, and we try to work on that problem. For example, over here, first thing what we do is that we get students tuned with English accent from different speakers. For that, we have a lot of strategies that we employ at Sowrya. We get them exposed to English literature where they would be listening to some recordings. These are very specific recordings. There will be cross-learning technique. I'm repeating cross-learning technique. When we are talking about this cross-learning technique, it is a very good technique that has been very useful for the students over the years. If you are a Telugu speaker also, and you have a lot of problem understanding English, I promise you, within 1 week, that problem will not be there. You will be able to perform, you will be able to get a very good score. It's not like that people coming from CBSE background or coming from English medium, they will be only the ones who will be getting 8, 8.5 or even 9. Even a student who is coming from a Telugu background with Telugu medium instructions of education can also score an 8. We have strategies. We have expertise help over here. We use world-class material along with other techniques that help students overcome the problems that they face. That is what we do over here at Sowrya. We take each module as a subject itself. We try to train them by giving them a lot of practice, conduct mock tests on weekends, work on students after the class, and see that each student, when they are going out of the class, they will be relaxed that yes, we can do it. That is what we do as far as a module of teaching is concerned. Now coming to your second module, which is reading module. Reading module is tough, but it is like mathematics. Students say it is tough because they have to read a lot. But if you understand it and consider it like mathematics, if you know the formula, then you can do the problem. Same is like winning a race. Over here, in listening and reading, you can score 9 on 9. That is very easy. So when you're dealing with the reading part, you will be coming across comprehensions, long passages. Each passage will be of 1,000 words. Overall, you will get 3 passages and you have to answer 40 questions based on that. That itself is a challenge. If you consider the time, 1 hour, it is little less when compared to the other exams. But what to do? You have no other option, but you need to answer 40 questions in 1 hour. So time management becomes critical over here. So not only we have to teach students about time management, but we also have to help them understand how a reading passage works. There are basically 5 questions that you will come across. List of headings, multiple choice, fill in the blanks, match the following, true, false, not given. Each question type is unique in itself, and we have specific strategies to deal with every question type that is available out there. If you're doing list of headings, we will be giving you at least half a dozen strategies to deal with list of headings. How are you going to deal with this kind of question? How are you going to find the heading that is suitable for the paragraph that you're reading? And that to do it within the time frame that you are supposed to do it. Same thing will happen with your true and false, which many people consider to be very confusing. Especially when we talk to the student, they say, sir, we get confused between false and not given. This is a very common reasoning they give. So we have specific things that we make them understand what will constitute a particular question into a false answer and what will constitute it into a not given. If we make them understand this concept clearly, they will never make this mistake. Each question type will teach them in a very comprehensive way. When I talk about comprehensive way, we believe in hands-on teaching. We will teach in a way that is a little old school but very effective. It is important that each student who walks into the class should get his share of learning. Everybody has a different IQ level. We know that, and we try to work as per their IQ level. So as a trainer in the class, I go down to every student and see what he or she is doing, what kind of difficulties they are facing, and then we try to come up with the strategies that is student specific also sometimes. There are universal strategies that most of you know, but there are strategies that will work for you as an individual, which is very important for you to understand. So when I was talking about true and false, it is not at all confusing if you know the concept of true and false. What is the basic foundation of true and false? That is what we try to make. Same is the case with multiple choice, fill in the blanks, and your other aspect of reading. So when you talk about reading, we try to be very clear that you have to be very specific with the time that you spend on a given passage. Because most of the students, when they are doing reading passage, they don't realize how much time they have taken. And when there is an announcement that only last 10 minutes are left in the exam, that is when they get startled. This is where things go horribly wrong. So up to 40 minutes or 50 minutes, everything is going fine. But all of a sudden, what will happen is that when you see the time is less and you have so many questions to deal with, that is when people start making mistakes. And you need to understand that this kind of a mistakes will actually result in your failure. And when you're talking about specific things, you've got to look at even the minute detail of reading. How to approach each and every question. It is a very specific thing because people think, okay, this is a question, I'm going to have an approach to that. No, have a very specific approach. An approach that is going to work on your accuracy, an approach that is going to work on your time management, an approach that is going to work on your strategy, an approach that is going to make you a reader who knows how to skim and scan, a reader who needs to scan for a specific information. This is what we do while we are training people at our classes. In our classes, we have material that has been well researched, and we have been following the authors that have known for their work. So over here at Sowrya, every 3 years we change the material to keep in line with the demands of the test and try to keep it as flexible as possible as far as the curriculum is concerned. This material over here we have designed by keeping in mind different kinds of students. For the people who are beginners, basic learners, then we have people who are moderate, then there are students who are very good at it. So this is one book which can actually deliver for all of you. Apart from that, we also make use of other materials which are available in the market that is going to be useful. That is what we do at our training classes over here, and we are trying to deliver you world-class experience as far as learning is concerned. Then you have speaking. Coming to your speaking module, people do understand that you have a one-on-one interview. Nowadays, the interview is online. There is an examiner who is conducting the interview through Google Meet or Skype, whichever the software is available, and then you're having a conversation for 15 minutes. So in this 15 minutes, they'll ask you very basic questions. Where are you from? What is your name? Where do you live? And all that. Each question has a purpose. For example, when somebody asks you your name, they want to see how do you pronounce your name. If they ask you, where do you come from? They are not expecting one word answer. They're expecting at least a 30 seconds answer where you can speak in English. Basically, they want to see whether you can talk English naturally or not. How good are you at using your vocabulary, sentence formation, and also giving information about a question as far as the content is relevant or not. If I'm talking about a particular question like describe your city, then they look at your content, whether the content is relevant to the question or not. They look at the vocabulary that is question based or not. They also look at your pronunciation, they look at your body language, and they look at how comfortable you are. So it's very important to sound natural, and if you keep all of these things in mind, then you should get the score that you're looking for. But when you compare our classes over here, as they say, five fingers are not the same. Students have a lot of issues with speaking. First of all, they are nervous to speak in front of others. There are students who are a little introvert. They have their own reasonings. We don't like to talk in front of others. It will be difficult. And then stage fear is also one factor, because when you are being watched, you cannot deliver your performance the way you want. So we need to understand all of these things and make them perform on the day of exam. So over here, we have a plan where we deal with speaking module, how to first make people talk English confidently. Second thing, how to make them speak English accurately as far as the grammar is concerned. Then, how are we going to get them the content that is required for the question? And along with that, the vocabulary which will add up to your score. So all of these things taken into account, we have an approach, we have a material, we have a program that is going to help you to deliver on what you're trying to get. Now coming to your last module, that is writing. If you're dealing with academic writing, you will have two parts. Part one is going to deal with analytical writing, where you have to write minimum 150 words, but a good answer will have around 170 to 200 words. Time duration is 20 minutes, task weightage is 40%. Basically, you will come across diagrams like bar graph, line graph, map, table, picture, pie chart. You will get minimum one diagram to maximum four. It depends on the nature of the diagram, what kind of a diagram you are getting. You need to summarize the information of the diagram by making comparisons wherever relevant. You'll get a separate booklet for this if you're doing a paper-based test. If you're getting it on computer-based test, there will be a separate screen for it. Now coming to your task 2, it is essay writing, where you need to write 250 words, time duration is 40 minutes, and task weightage is 60%. Over here, you will get only one essay without any choice. So whatever essay you get, you need to write 250 words, and there are different templates for each type of essay. Basically, you will have 4 to 5 types of essays that you will get in IELTS exam, and we will tell you about each essay, what kind of a template you are supposed to use, how it will be useful for you to get that score. And there are specific ways if you write, then you can impress the examiner. That is what we will be looking at and we will also help the students in a specific manner looking at his own individualistic problems. Thank you so much. 15 minutes.